there, everyone. Welcome to the Bird's Nest Podcast. I'm Joe Donahue. Thank you so much for joining us. The Philadelphia Eagles return home for Week 5. They've completed the first 4 games and have risen to a 4-0 record, which is always something that Eagles fans should be excited about, is the fact that the Eagles are winning right now. At the end of the day, that's what they're doing. And regardless of how ugly those first 4 wins are, and certainly even given the fact that they were really, really tough teams that the Eagles opened up the season against, the Philadelphia Eagles are moving into the middle stretch of the season before the bye week, 4-0, and that is huge for this team. So it doesn't matter how they're doing it, they're winning. And at the end of the day, that's all that we can expect as Eagles fans. The Eagles coming home to Lincoln Financial Field on Sunday to face the Denver Broncos, who themselves are definitely going to be a little bit of a challenge, although I am definitely expecting this to be a little bit easier of a game since the Broncos are 2-2 at this point in the season, but the Broncos are still not a team to overlook. So as we head into this Sunday, let's take a look at some of these keys to the game. The first thing I'm going to talk about at this point is actually the run game. And I know we've been putting it off and kind of expecting that, hey, the run game isn't necessarily going to be something that's as much of a factor. We're not expecting the Philadelphia Eagles to have another 2,000 rushing yard season out of Saquon Barkley. But by the same token, the run game does have to turn on a little bit. The Denver Broncos are ranked number 11 so far in the league in terms of run defense, but they also haven't gone up against a back that has been like Saquon Barkley can be. The Denver Broncos' 2 wins on the season were against the Tennessee Titans and the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Eagles definitely have some opportunity when it comes to providing a really, really, really strong run game. And I think that this is going to be an opportunity where they're going to be able to prove that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Eagles dial up in terms of a run offense, but the run game has really struggled over the course of the last 4 weeks, maybe to the point that we haven't really expected. Even those of us who've been beating the drum about Saquon Barkley is not going to be the Saquon Barkley of 2024. It's definitely one of those situations where we take a look at it and we really just need to settle down and buckle down on the run at this point, because the Eagles are not doing quite so good in the run game, and they really have to. Especially Jalen Hurts needs to be relying quite a bit on his backs. Most of the run offensive yards have come off of Jalen Hurts either scrambling or doing a designed QB run. So the fact that the Eagles haven't been utilizing their running backs or haven't had as much success with their running backs over these first 4 weeks is definitely something that has to change in the long run, and that's definitely something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on for this offense. A lot was made over the last week or so about A.J. Brown and some cryptic tweets that he had sent out. A.J. Brown basically said that they were not directed at anybody in the Eagles organization. Really, those tweets were more just kind of venting some frustrations about the ugliness of the wins over the course of the last couple of weeks. So A.J. Brown is having a whole other nothing burger. So I just wanted to mention that there was a little bit of that conversation going on, but I haven't really paid too much attention to it, put too much stock into it, because honestly, at a certain point, that's just kind of how AJ Brown is. So if it were really something more there, we'd probably spend a little bit more time talking about it, but I'm really not at all concerned at this point. The next key to this game is going to be third down conversions. And for this, you really, really, really need to make sure that the Philadelphia Eagles are forcing the Denver Broncos offense off of the field. Now, when you take a look at the Denver Broncos over the course of these first 4 weeks, you realize that the Broncos' highest third down conversion percentage came against the Indianapolis Colts, a team that they lost to, converted 44% of their third downs in that game. The Broncos other three games were in the teens in terms of third down conversion. Now, the Broncos were able to come away with wins due to other means, keeping themselves out of third down situations. So the Philadelphia Eagles are really going to have to force the Denver Broncos into those third down situations, especially third and long. That's going to really, really, at the end of the day, get to quarterback Bo Nix. Now, the good news is for the Eagles defense has been allowing, on average, a 36.96% conversion rate on third downs, which is 14th in the league, again, right around the middle of the pack. And for the Eagles offensively, they do have to make sure that they are converting on third downs. And the Eagles are tied for 8th in the league right now in that number. They are at 41.82%, tied with Atlanta. So tied for 8th in the league. They're a top 10 offense in terms of third down conversions. That's going to be really, really critical, is winning the battle on third down. Because if the Eagles are able to win the battle on third down, then the Eagles offense gets to stay on the field for longer, which is ideally going to generate more opportunities for points. And I do think it's going to take at least 30 points for the Philadelphia Eagles to overcome the Denver Broncos in this game. The next key to the game I want to bring up is getting to Bo Nix. And that's going to be making sure that we're causing him to overthrow the ball, to make bad decisions in the pocket, certainly to get sacks on him. That's all going to be really, really critical. Now, Vic Fangio earlier this week did talk about Bo Nix and actually paid him a relatively strong compliment given how the Philadelphia Eagles have fared historically against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
He's a lot like Baker Mayfield. I think he might be Baker's younger brother. Really good. Really, really good. Well, you just watch Mayfield. I mean, he's a scrambler. He's a competitor. You know, he'll throw the ball in tight places. He runs their offense really well. I think Sean's done a great job bringing him along. And they got their quarterback for the future. You know, they looked long and hard for many years, and they've got one.
He also talked about Broncos head coach Sean Payton and the problems that he can present.
He's an excellent play caller. They're very multiple on offense with multiple personnel groups, multiple schemes from the play standpoint, but yet still has a good bit of old school in him, and they'll run the ball. They like the power game and the run game. He's really good. He's tough to go against.
It's going to take the Eagles getting into the secondary and rattling Bo Nix on every down. Because when you take a look at it, Bo Nix really has not had super good numbers. He's had some good flashes. He's had some good games. But he's also had some really bad games too. In the Indianapolis Colts game, which again was a game that the Broncos lost, the Broncos had under center a quarterback who went 22 for 30 for 206 yards in the passing game, threw 3 touchdowns, and had a 111.2 passer rating, including 1 interception. Contrary-wise, you can have games like he had against the Los Angeles Chargers, 14 for 25 in the passing game for 153 yards. That's a completion percentage of 56%. That's a passer rating of 87.6. He didn't throw any interceptions there. Or you can have a game like he had against the Tennessee Titans where he went 25 for 40 for 176 yards, threw 2 interceptions and 1 touchdown, and had a passer rating of 60. So you can have these kinds of flashes from Bo Nix where he's either really good, or you can have these kinds of flashes from Bo Nix where he's not doing so well. While you can say the same thing about any quarterback in the league, I think when you're dealing with a newer quarterback, it really helps to understand that you can really take advantage of him. There's a whole season of tape on Bo Nix now, and he's really, really susceptible to sacks. He's already taken 3 so far this season. So he definitely, if the Eagles can get past the line of scrimmage, win that line of scrimmage battle, get into the offensive backfield, and kind of mess with Bo Nix's head as the Eagles can do with the pass rushers that they have, then I think it's going to be a really, really, really long day for the sophomore QB in Bo Nix. The next key to the game is going to be playing disciplined football. And for this, I really need to take a look at the offense here because the Eagles' offense has not been doing well in the penalty department. The Eagles' offense has had 9 penalties, 6 penalties, 5 penalties, and 8 penalties in each of the Eagles' first 4 games, respectively. And the defense has been playing a little bit better. The Eagles' defense in the penalty department has given up fewer penalties. They've had 4 penalties, 6 penalties, 4 penalties, and 5 penalties through each of these first 4 games, respectively. But the Philadelphia Eagles offense and defense both need to tighten up things a little bit because you don't want to be handing over opportunities to a Denver Broncos team that's going to be clawing for opportunities to take down the reigning Super Bowl champion and show the world why they got somebody like Bo Nix and why they deserve to be in the conversation in the AFC West, which for the longest time has been dominated by the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Philadelphia Eagles have to play disciplined football, and I know you can call holding on every single play, and it's just a matter of does the holding impact the game, but you never want to put, to the extent that you can, you never want to put the officiating into the spotlight where they have to make those kinds of judgments. You never want to even have the perception of the officiating impacting the game. It is definitely a challenge, for sure, but the Philadelphia Eagles, simply put, have to rise to that. The last key to this game is going to be turnovers. Now, Jalen Hurts for the last couple of weeks has been throwing the ball really more so to not get picked off, and it's benefited Jalen Hurts in that regard, in that he's thrown a franchise record most completed passes without an interception. But turnovers are going to be key in this game because, again, they're going to be another way for the Eagles to show their dominance over a Denver Broncos team that the Eagles really should beat. The Denver Broncos right now are -2 in the turnover differential. The Broncos actually wound up giving the ball away 6 times, but they were able to reclaim the ball, a bunch of those. So the Broncos are -2 in the turnover differential. The highest turnover rate that they had actually was in the opening against the Tennessee Titans, where the Broncos gave the ball away 4 times. And the Eagles really need to take the ball away just as many times. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Eagles defense dials up in that regard as well. So those are my keys to the game, but let me know what you think in the comments below. What are you going to be watching for over the course of this game? Let me know. And thank you so much to everyone for tuning into the Bird's Nest Podcast. You can support the Bird's Nest Podcast by liking and subscribing to Bird's Nest Media right here on YouTube, as well as by sharing to your social media pages. You can also find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, the Odyssey app, and iHeartRadio. Please visit birdsnestmedia.com for additional Eagles and NFL coverage. And if you feel so inclined to support us in a different way, you can find the link to our Patreon in the description below or at birdsnestmedia.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's go Eagles!